St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City looks so pretty, you see.
You're listening to Where You Live with Gene Sullivan.
Welcome back to Where You Live. I'm Gene Sullivan, broadcasting from the True North Painting Studios. Before we get back to our story about what's taking place in Sydney, Australia, with homeowner association law there, I'd like to let all our listeners know that this show is also brought to you by American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency, and Extreme Exteriors. You can count on Extreme Exteriors for expert installation of exterior siding, roofing soffits, fascia decks, windows, and more. With their knowledge and experience, they can design the perfect solution to make your home beautiful and energy efficient, saving you maintenance and money for years to come. Give them a call at 763-441-1334 and tell them Gene sent you. It's time now to hear from the Community Associations Institute. The CAI Minute is brought to you by New Concepts Rental Management. Whether you're an accidental landlord or a seasoned investor, New Concepts Rental Management can advise and guide you through every aspect of the business. Give us a call at 952-922-2500.
Are you a member of the Community Associations Institute? For nearly 40 years, CAI has provided education and resources to volunteer homeowners who govern community associations and the professionals who support them. Visit caionline.org to learn more. The address again is caionline.org. CAI helps community associations board members by providing online resources, in-person training, and hard copy publications written by association management experts. CAI offers community managers professional development, networking opportunities, and a certification program that is established as the industry standard nationwide. Minnesota has its own chapter of the Community Associations Institute to bring resources and tools from community associations around the country right to your home. Visit www.cai-mn.com to learn more and become a member of CAI today. Your community and management company will benefit from your involvement. Join the Community Associations Institute today at cai-mn.com and click on membership.
If you're just joining us, we're talking about the story out of Sydney, Australia. They are doing an overhaul of homeowner association law, and they felt that there are a couple things needed their attention this last legislative session. A couple of things all dealing with management companies. First one was they needed to disclose any conflicts of interest, ownership they had in other entities, working for the HOA or their clients. Makes sense. We do that here. And there shouldn't be commingling of funds. One client's fund is going to be separated from someone else's from another. And it's not going, none of them are going to be tied to the management company at all. Those things, like I said, it's hard for me to imagine that they weren't already in place in Sydney, Australia. But if they weren't, good for them. Those are the kinds of laws that should be done. My concern was there are some that take place that happen because, as I've said so many times on this show before, a legislator has a constituent that comes to him and says, oh, this is a big issue. And what was this big burning issue? They said, well, management companies are taking advantage of us because we seem to have all of our contracts with management companies are 5 years and 10 years in length. And they all seem to have this automatic renewal policy or clause on it. So, and if you haven't talked to us in 30 days before the end of the contract, boom, it automatically renews, and that's it. You're out of luck, and now it's renewed for another 10 years. And I'm just thinking, wow, is this something that really needs to be done? Does there need to be a law for everything? Let me give you an example. There are some laws that I don't think we really have to worry about, or when it comes to vehicles. The police probably give out a lot of tickets for people for speeding because there are people that will have a heavy foot. They need to go somewhere fast, and they will push the envelope there. And so there are a lot of tickets for that. But are there a lot of tickets for people driving in the wrong lane? Probably not, because most people understand with certain laws, there are certain things that just kind of make common sense, doesn't it? I don't really need to worry about a lot of laws about driving in the wrong lane because there are some serious consequences that'll take place. I'll get hit by another car coming in the other direction. And it seems to me that seems to be what? Common sense. And when we deal with a free society, we're also talking about dealing with a free market. And my question is, does there really need to be a law? Do we even believe or trust in a free market society anymore? And this goes back to some of the comments that I made at the very beginning of the show about Thomas Jefferson. One of the things that I really enjoy about our founding fathers is this understanding that these were real learned people. These were people that were in a period of time that was considered the Age of Enlightenment. And during the Age of Enlightenment, Thomas Jefferson, all of our founding fathers, they took the time over years to study all of the great societies of the world, all the great leaders, the laws, the rules, the things that were governments that were in place. And with this Age of Enlightenment, there was this understanding that, you know what, at the end of the day, truth is always going to rise to the top. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to make sure that you try and necessarily just legislate to make everybody understand. People are going to understand because there was this understanding. And this idea of a free market works really well. We're going to be taking a look at another story a little bit later on that's dealing with smoking. And there are anti-smoking laws in place where one city in California wants to take and make it a law that says nobody can smoke in any multi-family unit residence or building. But do you really need to do that? We don't need a law for that here. Most people don't smoke in Minnesota. And if you go to rent most apartments, guess what? You find that the landlord says this is a no-smoking building. This is a no-smoking apartment. Why? Because of what's called the free market. It seems to work. People say, you know what? I'm going to vote. I'm going to show my approval with my pocketbook. And I'm going to show you that I want to live in your place because of what you have established. You don't need to worry about a law when you have that free market because you're dealing with people, treating them like adults. Part of what gets me concerned is that we should be probably more upset by those that govern us sometimes because what they're really doing basically is an insult to our intelligence, thinking that we cannot decide ourselves. And when it deals with contract law and with that of a property management company, do you really need a law that says you can't have contracts that are 5 and 10 years in place? Now, people are going to say, well, Gene, you own a management company. I'm sure it's because you would like to have that. I don't have any contracts that are 5 or 10 years in place. And I don't have any that have an automatic renewal clause on there either. I think that we can say that people have the intelligence and the ability to govern themselves, to monitor themselves, and to say in a free market society, this is what I want, this is what makes sense for me, and I don't think you need to do it. But my question to the folks in Sydney, Australia, that says we need to address property management companies managing homeowner associations in Australia, specifically, no 5 or 10 year contracts. Really? If there's an issue that people are being taken advantage of with these 5 and 10 year contracts and with things automatic renewal, why not outlaw it for any contract? But guess what? You won't find that. How many times are you going to find a 4 or 5 year contract with the cable company, or with a phone, a cell phone, or with some sort of promotion? Or how about trash companies, trash hauling companies? But you don't see people being concerned there. Why is it that we are dealing with just this one, then the other? this is where I say we need to be careful. What's kind of interesting there, Robin Williams was dealing and addressing this kind of idea about people just going to the extreme. And I think thinking that you're going to write a law like this is a bit extreme. Robin Williams said it's kind of drastic, don't you think? Kind of like saying you're going to have chemotherapy because you want to have your head shaved. Yeah, you're not going to have chemotherapy to say, I want to have my head shaved. You just shave your head. Seems a little bit extreme. Doesn't it seem a little bit extreme sometimes to have certain laws in place when really what we're talking about is common sense? Where is that nowadays? I think we need to realize the beauty of a free market, a free society, is that you're not bound by what someone who says, you've got to buy my product and you've got to buy it this way. You have no other choice. Jefferson and our founding fathers saw other societies where there was a king, there was a lord, and there was only one person to buy something. The king said, I'm going to sanction that someone can open this hat company and nobody else is going to do it. And the king said, I'm going to open this distillery. And then that is the one that everybody is going to use. We don't live in a society like that. We have one where we all decide, and that's the beauty of it. You know what it is that you're looking for and the kinds of services that you expect. And ultimately, the real power is what you demonstrate with your pocketbook. I don't see a reason why we should feel obligated to enter into any kind of contract for any longer than you wish or to be required to have an automatic renewal. I think if you are looking at any of your contracts and you live in a HOA, you're on the board of directors, feel free to determine how long that contract will be. And don't be afraid to say, you know what, we're going to put in a clause that says that this contract can be mutually terminated by either party with or without cause. I think you'll probably find that there will be very, very few future providers who will say, nope, we're not going to enter into that contract, and they're going to walk away from you. I think you'll find that common sense will prevail. Well, anyway, that's my take on what I think about this particular law that's taking place down under. Well, we need to take a break, so don't go away. We've got a lot more of Where You Live after these messages.